What's going on, everybody? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and we got some very good news and some very bad news for our Minnesota Vikings. Just depends on how you view it, as the final injury report did just come out ahead of the Week 4 matchup with the Green Bay Packers. Now, before we dive into that, guys, first off, want to say thank you so much to everybody who has hit that subscribe button over the last couple of days. We have picked up damn near 900 subscribers as I put out the goal. Can we hit 33K on the channel before kickoff in 2 days against the Green Bay Packers for our man Aaron Jones? As we know, he's making his revenge game to Lambeau, after they picked up Josh Jacobs in free agency. I'm sure he's fired up for it. So if you guys want to help our cause here and join our Vikings Now family, please hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. But let's first dive into the Viking side of things. So the great news here for the Minnesota Vikings: Jordan Addison will be playing this weekend alongside Dallas Turner, Christian Darrisaw. All the Vikings will be out there. But the bad news from the Viking side of it is actually Ivan Pace Jr. will be out. So his second straight game of missing. I'm sure it will be Grugier Hill, who had an interception last week, filling in. I thought he did a fantastic job. So even though last week I was a little nervous about Pace being out, just because we didn't really know what we had in Grugier Hill, but he ended up playing a great game. So not really too worried about that with Pace. Just have him get healthy. Hopefully he's out there, next week versus the New York Jets. But more on Addison here. He will be ready to go. He will be out there, full effect, 110%. And, I think this is huge because, I think Jefferson is by far the best receiver in the National Football League. I think Jefferson has a chance to be a top 3 receiver of all time when it's all said and done. But, having his running mate out there in Jordan Addison is so huge, and for multiple reasons. Like, we know Jefferson every given week, he's going to get the other team's number 1 corner. He's going to get the safety help. All that coverage is going to roll his way. So when you have an elite 2 in Addison, are the Packers going to feel comfortable leaving their number 2 corner one-on-one with Jordan Addison? And even if they, let's just say, put their second corner on Jefferson and they still roll all the coverage his way, Addison got the best of Jair Alexander last year, giving him 80 yards and a touchdown when he was the wide receiver 1. So I just think that yin and yang him and Addison have, I think it's going to be special this weekend. So it's great to have him back as he was dealing with that ankle injury. It was actually the other ankle from the one he injured in the joint practice versus the Cleveland Browns. So Addison will be out there. The Vikings offense, all the Avengers, all the Infinity Stones are starting to come together. But I will give you guys a quick update on Hockinson. He is eligible to return next week, and I think he'll be practicing next week. I really doubt he's going to be out there versus the New York Jets. You have that game in London. I don't even think he's going to travel with the team. People have talked about the playing field there not being the best, so I don't think the Vikings would risk it, especially if they're 4-0. I mean, you would just be playing with house money versus Rodgers and the Jets. But I think for sure Hockinson will be back versus the Detroit Lions in a huge game off the bye. It will be at home. Hopefully our Vikings are 4-1, 5-0 even potentially at that time. And getting Hockinson back, I mean, you got Jefferson, Addison, Aaron Jones, Hockinson, 2 great tackles, a quarterback playing at a top 5 level. I mean, this offense and overall this team is extremely special. But Dallas Turner, edge rusher, first-round pick, he'll be out there. When he got 18 snaps against the Texans when he played, I'm assuming he's going to be right around that ballpark, 20 to 25 reps snaps this weekend. And also Darrisaw, he was on an injury report with an illness yesterday. He did not practice, but he'll be fully ready to go. But from the Packers front, big news here: Jordan Love is expected to play this weekend, and I love it. I didn't want, this is just Packers fans, just NFL fans in general. Like, when you're not missing your starting quarterback, or when you're missing your starting quarterback, you can just say, oh, we didn't have Jordan Love, that's why we lost. But the Packers will be at full strength, and I love that. And I'll tell you what, tough game for Jordan Love to come into. Like, I'm sure he's been scouting this Brian Flores defense for the last 3 weeks, as the Packers had the Titans and the Colts the last 2 weeks. I'm sure they had this game circled week 4 against the Vikings as his return. And with the Vikings starting off 3-0, if the Packers want to win the division, if they lose this game, they are fighting a huge uphill battle. You're 2 games back from the Vikes. Lions, they got the Seahawks this week. I think they're going to handle biz. So then you're a game out at Detroit. And then plus you don't have the tiebreaker against the Vikings. Like, this is a big-time game for Green Bay. And, it's going to be a tough test for Jordan Love. He's dealing with that sprained MCL. He's going to be limited mobily a little bit. At least I would assume he will be. But I will give Love credit. He carved up this Vikings defense, same system last year on New Year's Eve. He was going back foot, throwing up bombs to Jayden Reed, and he looked fantastic. So, I'm very excited for this game. Very excited that the Packers are going to be at full strength, and Jordan Love will 99.9% be in there. I don't think this is, gamesmanship by the Packers. We got a report from a Packers beat reporter that he fully expects Jordan Love to suit up versus the Minnesota Vikings. I don't think this is something where LaFleur told the beat reporter, hey, get it out there that Love's playing, then we're going to put in Malik Willis. Again, that could happen. I really doubt it. So Packers will be at full strength, but I'm going to give you guys more thoughts on this game here in a second, give you my predictions, what I think the score will be, and also I got a hot take around this Minnesota Vikings team that I want to get out there. But hey, before we dive into that, let me know who you got. Vikings, Packers this weekend. Give me a V for the Vikes. So if you're rolling with the Green Bay Packers and you're a Packers fan, give me a P down below in the comments section. Just kind of trying to see where both fan bases are at. So let's wrap it up. Let's talk about this game here. So my score prediction. I'm going to go 27-17. Vikings get the victory. I don't think the Vikings defense will be as dominant as they have been over the last 2 weeks, as you don't have that home field advantage. You don't have that crowd, even though they traveled very well in week 1 and held the Giants to 6 points. That was a great performance out of them, but I still think they'll have a good day. I think they'll hold them to 2 touchdowns and a field goal, but I don't think they'll be as dominant. Now, that being said, I think the Vikings offense, this is going to be their game. I think it's going to be a lot of ground and pound. I think we're going to get 20, 25 carries from Aaron Jones, 7 to 12 carries from Ty Chandler. I think Kevin O'Connell is going to want to kind of, assert this physical dynamic that they have been working on all offseason. I mean, this goes back to OTAs where Kevin O'Connell had these guys hitting. Training camp, he talked about it. I want to be a more physical football team, and when you get these divisional matchups, they're just naturally physical. So I think KO might want to try to send a message to the rest of the NFC North like, hey, we aren't the same finesse football team that we've been. We are a defense, running game. We let the weapons, cook on the outside when we get those opportunities. But I think this is going to be an Aaron Jones revenge game. I think he is going to dominate, whether that's him on the ground or him out of the backfield. I think he's going to go for 150 total yards. I think he is going to be fantastic. But more Vikings defensively, guarding the Packers offense. I've been watching a lot of their film over the last 2 days, and I'll give Matt LaFleur credit, man. I mean, I get going when I watch Kevin O'Connell design these plays, but same thing for Matt LaFleur. This dude's a genius, and I think he'll be able to scheme up just a couple of scoring drives for Green Bay, but I still think the Vikings defense will have a good game. Holding a Packers offense to only 17 at home or on the road for the Vikes defense, that is special. So I think they're going to have a good game. I just think this is going to be more about the Vikings rushing attack and what they're going to do on the ground, and that's going to be the reason why they end up winning this football game. But one guy us Vikings fans need to watch out for, and actually 2 guys, because I'm going to have a video coming out tomorrow, giving a scenario on how the Packers could win this game, and I think it's them establishing a run game. So Josh Jacobs, got to take him away. They've been getting him 20-plus carries a game this season. He has been that workhorse, and I'm sure Green Bay is going to want to, not stick it to Aaron Jones. I don't think there's any bad blood there, but I'm sure Matt LaFleur wants to be like, yeah, we made the right decision. We think Josh Jacobs is a better running back, so I expect the Vikings on early downs. They've been aggressive against the run, a ton of run blitzes. I'm expecting a lot of the same, there, but also keep your eyes out on Jayden Reed. Jayden Reed is, I can't even think of a comp for him right now, but he's kind of like a Percy Harvin. They'll give him the ball. I saw one play against the Titans. They ran him like orbit motion. Then Malik Willis quickly handed him the ball off, and he was able to get north and south and get a solid 15-yard game. But they will get him the ball in many creative ways. He'll be in that running back. He'll be in the slot. He'll be split out wide. He is the one weapon out of all the Packers receivers that scares me the most, because he can turn a simple 5-yard out, guys, into a touchdown where he can just house it. Him and Jordan Love have that connection outside of the pocket where he's, getting mobile, and, Jayden Reed just finds him, and it ends up being a good gain for the Packers. So Jayden Reed, Josh Jacobs, those are guys that scare me the most, but maybe I'm giving the Packers offense too much credit here. And I think the storyline of this year will be the Vikings defense. Maybe, I'm I'm going to change my score prediction. I don't think they're going to get in the end zone twice. I think it's just going to be once. I got 27-13. The more I talk about it, the more I watch this game. And I always try to balance, like, I'm a homer. I drink way too much purple Kool-Aid. I view this team from a fan's perspective. This year, I've been really trying to just watch the film, break it down there. I think the Vikings might roll. Like, I think this is a terrible matchup for the Packers. So I'm changing it. I'm going 27-13. I think the Vikings roll. But, just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I'll do this so I can know all the real ones that watched all the way through. If you guys give me an FGB down below in the comment section, I'll show you guys some extra love down there. So give me an FGB if you watch this entire thing, as it's Packers week, guys. I mean, if you're not a little more fired up for this game, I don't know what you're doing. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Give me a follow on Twitter at PatSieps. And we'll see you guys next time. As always, SKOL Vikes.